Gentleman yields back. I now recognize the gentlelady from New Jersey, Ms. McIver, for 5 minutes.
Thank you so much, Chairman, and thank you to our ranking member and to our witnesses for joining us today. Thank you for serving our communities. Specifically to you, Mr. Hodges, I am just in awe to see you here today, and I want to thank you for your service, specifically for protecting this very institution. It's unfortunate that Mr. Crane had to run out of here for my comments, but I want to apologize to you for his comments, because for him to have the audacity to be disrespectful to you, giving your honorable service to protecting this very body, is a shame. Republicans only have respect for law enforcement that supports their political agenda. That is a given here that we see all the time. There's no shocker to anyone on this committee, and definitely no shocker to me, that yet another hearing, I live rent-free space in Mr. Crane's head over and over again, while he's obsessing about me doing my job of oversight, while he continues to fail to do his job to service the people of Arizona, while there's a detention center that had deaths there, and yet to this day, Mr. Crane refuses to have oversight and go there and visit that detention center, but steady worrying about me here doing my job, then using the power that his constituents have given him by electing him to do his job. Before I begin into my comments about this specific hearing, I want to take a moment to honor the National Guard officer who tragically lost her life in the horrific shooting last week, and to extend my prayers to the guardsman who is still fighting for his life. Their bravery reminds us of the tremendous risk our service members take every single day. We have all seen the National Guard deploy into communities, not to support law enforcement missions, but to wander down residential streets, help with yard work just outside the Capitol, or simply serve as a political scenery. Now 500 more guardsmen are being sent into Washington, D.C. because this administration is choosing optics over strategy and politics over safety. These people should not be placed in harm's way to serve as props in the president's twisted agenda. But my colleagues across the aisle didn't call this hearing to talk about solutions. They aren't interested in those. What they are trying to do is point fingers so they can deflect blame. They want to convince the American people that Democratic rhetoric is the issue. It is not Democrats who are praising, let alone pardoning, people who stormed this very Capitol complex to beat police officers and hunt down elected officials. It is Donald Trump who pardoned more than 1,500 January 6 rioters. I hope we can all agree, as we keep saying out of our mouths here, that any form of violence is unacceptable. Show me. Say it. Gun violence continues to threaten our communities and the officers sworn to protect them, and we should be focused on real solutions rooted in public safety. But I do not want to hear selective, phony outrage about rhetoric from people who only sometimes, when it's beneficial to them, want to protect law enforcement. Let's not forget, as violence threats surged across this country, the Trump administration froze billions of dollars to counterterrorism and nonprofit security grant funds. The very money meant to protect synagogues, mosques, churches, and even HBCUs and other community institutions. Republicans stood by silently as their own administration stripped away critical protections from grantees they now claim to care about. So when Republicans sit here today and try to lecture anyone about supporting the rule of law and those who work to uphold it, the hypocrisy is alarming. They have repeatedly proposed cuts to the very agencies that keep officers and communities safe. They have embraced violent rhetoric from their leader, rhetoric that includes open calls for the murder of political opponents. They have abandoned the officers who defended this Capitol on January 6th and instead wrapped their arms around the people who attacked them. In Newark, my district, violent crime has gone down by 23% because we invested in real community-based intervention, trauma-informed crisis response, and real community policing. When we talk about real action, we see real results. On the other hand, political stunts, military deployed on American city streets, mass ICE agents tearing through communities, these things make us unsafe. In my district, we choose trust over terror, partnership over provocation, and the results speaks for themselves. So let's do some real work on this committee. And let's leave here with some solutions, not just comments and statements every week. With that, I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlelady yields back. I now recognize gentleman from Alabama, Mr. Strong, for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our witnesses for being here today.